years. And it was right after Desert Storm, so during Desert Calm. And I was security police.
Okay. And why did you decide to join the Air Force?
A lot of reasons. But I don't know, just the idea of the military was appealing in the sense that I was going into security police because I wanted to go into criminal investigations. So that was the original plan. Didn't quite go that way, but that was the original plan.
So that was sort of like how you like started like your career sort of type of thing? Like,
I was going to college at the time. After I graduated high school, I went to college for a while and realized that it was kind of hard to do it all on your own. So I wanted to do the travel, I wanted to do the college, and kind of wanted to get out of where I was. So just lots of reasons, I suppose.
And what were some of the hardest parts of basic training for you?
I didn't find it hard, I guess, because I made a really good friend right off the bat, so we kind of realized it was a game. And so once you know that it's a game, it's not so bad, I guess. Getting up early, so it's a lot of things you could and couldn't do. So I guess being so structured was a little difficult. I enjoyed basic training. So.
Okay. Was it hard being away from your family then, or
no? Not really, because I didn't go straight from high school, so I kind of was living on my own for a while beforehand. But I think you still missed the comforts of home, and you were doing fine until you heard, when you did talk to somebody, then it like hit you and you like realized where you were. So
okay.
What were some of your like duties like home stationed here?
So my first assignment was in New Mexico, and I worked security for a weapons storage area, and then I also worked as a corrections officer. We had a federal prison, small, on our base, and so any military members that were convicted, the military court-martial system.
What are things that you miss most and least about your service?
I think I miss everything about it. I don't know, you just get used to the lifestyle and you like it. You like the structure, things that were hard to get used to initially, I guess. You miss the camaraderie, you miss the just being part of a group that is different, and it's a different world. It's a completely different world. And once you, I don't know, for some people, they just becomes part of who you are. So as far as what I don't miss, again, because of the job, we had to work, we worked 24/7, so we had to work holidays, weekends, Christmas, deployments, things like that. So you missed a lot. There was a lot of things you missed out on. So
yeah.
But.
So was it like long hour days too then, or was it just like? Okay.
We we either worked 8-hour shifts or 12-hour shifts. So if you worked a 12-hour shift, which was common, you really worked about 16, because 12 hours meant from the time you relieved the other person. So before that, you had to show up, you had guard mount, you had to get your weapons, you had to get briefings, you had to drive out to your post, and then you had to do the same thing on the back side of it. So when you were 12-hour shifts, you really slept and worked, and that was it. 8 hours were really, again, 10, 12.
Yeah. And how long did you say that you were there for?
Where? Which part?
Like Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, I was only there for 5 months.
Okay.
So, we kind of moved around. So, and then in Turkey, I was there for 15. But one was considered a deployment, or one was considered a short tour, so kind of different assignments.
How long was basic training then?
6 weeks, I think.
Okay.
And then after that, you have to go to, we had three separate trainings. So we had basic training, then we had to go to our tech school, which taught us our job, and then after that, we had to go train with the Army for 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
was fun.
So what kind of things did you do at the Army training then?
Well, we were all Air Force, and so
Yeah.
they enjoyed training us. We ran a lot. We learned how to. We had to dig foxholes, and we had to do trainings where we'd go basically on camping trips for 5 days. Not really camping. We did mount training, which was assault training in like an urban area. So learning to climb through windows, clear rooms, throw hand grenades. Lots of fun stuff.
So do you have any other like memorable stories about just anything that really like you like hear about like service there and then it really just like pops in your mind? Any stories that happened to you or that you did or
when they got to Saudi Arabia, whenever you go to a new place, they always brief you about the culture and the things you can and can't do. And one of the things they told us was, as females, we were not allowed to leave the installation without, I don't remember, it was like 5 male escorts. And it was more about safety than anything else. And we had to be covered from head to toe. Didn't have to cover our face, but everything else had to be covered. And they told us not to speak unless spoken to. Okay. So we'd go off base and we'd go shopping, and we never really ran into it as a problem until one day we did. And we'd always wait to see if the shopkeeper would speak, to us as females. And usually it was just me with my guys that I had gone over with. And this one guy would not talk to me. He said to the guy I was with, "Oh, does your friend want to see this bracelet?" We kind of stood there and looked at each other, and I said to my friend, I said, "Yes." And he heard me, but he wouldn't acknowledge it until the male said to him, "Yes." And then he said, "Well, which one would she like to see?" "Well, which one would you like to see?" And it was this 3-way conversation that was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life. And just prior to that, my friend was giving me a hard time, telling me, "Oh, walk behind me, you can't talk to me," and, and knowing I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he looked at me and he's like, "I am so sorry," because we finally experienced what they told us might happen.
So did that happen like right after you got there, or was it a bit later?
It was later. And so we had been going, we'd go downtown and whenever on our days off and we'd shop for rugs and gold, and I think they knew that, we had money and we were going to spend it, so they treated us good. But this one guy, just, needless to say, we didn't buy anything there, we left.
Yeah.
But it was odd. And then when we'd go to the restaurants, in their restaurants, like, they had some fast food, some of like our fast food places, but what they had was a men's section and a family section. So only men could sit in the men's section, and if they were with their wife or mother or whoever, they had to sit in this family section. And so we went to this one place, and we knew this, and we were going to sit there, and they just kept telling us to leave. And they gave us our food, but they wouldn't let us eat there. And the guys that I was with, there were 6 of us. No, we understand. We're gonna sit in. No, get out. And it was, to this day, we have no idea why. We don't know if it was because we were American or some other reason. We just didn't know. So it was weird. But you come back and you appreciate what you have. There's places we couldn't go in at all. We went to the mall, and there'd be signs on the doors that said women are kindly requested not to enter.
Wow.
And I remember the one that we had come, and it was a music store. It was just, they sold CDs. No idea why we couldn't go in there, but we weren't allowed to go in there.
Do you have any tips then for any new coming soldiers or people in the service?
Enjoy it. I mean, as hard as it is, it's hard, but there's nothing like it, because it's hard. It's like we see ourselves as different, and we have to, because we are. And I don't think they see themselves as better, just different. And it's a family that you never knew you had. So it's It's pretty awesome.